Hanukkah begins tomorrow night, and we are getting into the spirit today with a very special guest. Neal Hoffman, the Cincinnati-based creator of the Mensch on a Bench, is here to show how his holiday tradition really has become a family favorite. It's been 10 years now since he first pitched the idea on Shark Tank, and now the Mensch is a beloved part of Hanukkah celebrations all across the country and really beyond the country too. Neal, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Who would have thought 10 years ago that I would still be here and the Mensch family would have grown?
Oh my gosh, unbelievable. So first of all, for folks watching who might not be familiar with the term, what is a Mensch?
So Mensch means good, honorable person. So it's what you want your kid to grow up to be. So as I was creating Mensch, I wanted to create a role model for Jewish children. So here's what we're aspiring to do.
Okay, and so that's really kind of what really inspired the Mensch on a Bench then? Because we've heard of, that other little guy in a red outfit.
Yeah, I love the guy in a red outfit. We were walking through the store, and my son asked for an elf on a shelf, and I made a joke and said, "No, man, you're Jewish. You could have a Mensch on a bench." And I fell in love with the idea. I did a quick internet search. Nobody was doing it. Went back that night and wrote the book. And the book tells a story of Hanukkah from the Mensch's perspective. So the miracle of lights, where the oil lasts for 8 nights, and each night the Jews go to sleep, and the Mensch watches over the menorah for them. And then they wake up, and he introduces a new tradition, whether it's dreidel or latkes or Hanukkah gelt. And then you do that with your own Mensch at your house. He watches over your menorah and he celebrates with your family.
That's what I was going to ask. If a family welcomes the Mensch into their home, are the rules that go along with that?
He doesn't watch the kids and decide if they're good or bad the same way an elf does. He likes to participate, right? He's part of your family. So he likes to take funny pictures. He loves to play dreidels. He loves to eat latkes. And the whole idea is you have 8 nights of Hanukkah. It gets a little bit repetitive. So as I like to say, how do we add some Funukkah to Hanukkah? And we do that by adding toys to the mix.
Oh, that's awesome. When you first came up with this idea, now hard to believe a decade ago, right? Did you ever have any idea it would become what it has become?
I hoped. So in the first week, I had this vision of doing a Mensch cartoon and introducing a Mensch family and wrapping paper, and that this would be what we call an evergreen property, that every year you would bring it out. And it's really interesting. The first kids that had Mensch that were maybe 12 at the time are now 22 and starting to get married and going to start having Mensches for their own kids. And it's so cool to see that cycle complete itself.
Oh, that is very cool, Neal. So obviously now there's the original Mensch on the Bench, but the family has grown, as you mentioned, over the years. So who are the other characters here?
So every year I like to introduce a new character to keep things fresh, keep everybody just engaged. So we have the mitzvah moose over here.
Okay.
Mitzvah means good deed. So I wrote a book, and every time that the mitzvah moose does a good deed, one of his antlers lights up.
Oh,
and you can see.
nice.
So there we go. We did.
They actually do light up.
8 good deeds.
That is great.
We have Bubby, who you ask her questions and she answers them, and her voice is my own great aunt who's 80 years old in Florida, and I want to share that with the rest of the world.
That's amazing.
We have the dreidel dog, and new for this year, what do you call a Jewish unicorn? You call it a Junicorn.
Fantastic. I love the Junicorn. Seems to fit right in there alongside the Bench. Well, I'm sure people watching might want to get their very own Mensch on a Bench or all the other characters. Neal, how can they do that? Where can they get more information?
We're at Walmart. We are on Amazon, and the unicorn is only available on themenchonabench.com.
All right, fantastic. And by the way, before you go too, so I understand you have an incredible bounce house, like a bouncy house? Sort of
I
thing?
have a 20-foot bounce house. Oh, you got a picture of it.
Look at the...
With the Mensch on a Bench. I got a call from a company, and they wanted to license the Mensch on a Bench to make bouncy houses. And they offered me some money, and I said, yeah, I don't care about the money. Send me one.
Oh my gosh.
And it is 400 pounds. It takes multiple people to move it. It is gigantic. It's industrial size, and it is so much fun. My neighbors appreciated it.
Oh my gosh. Is that available for rent?
It is, well, technically, yes.
yeah. That is fantastic. The largest Mensch ever. Neal, thank you so much for coming on
thanks for having
Cincy
me. I
Lifestyle with us.
appreciate
Happy Hanukkah to you and your family, and best of luck in the future. We can't wait to see who joins the Mensch in the future.
Well, there'll be more.
All right.
Thank you.